There are people out there who are just full of luck. Whether it is at work, during sports, or in their daily lives, some manage to escape a dangerous situation unharmed, as if they had some sort of superpower. But it's just that luck is on their side. Join us as we take a look at some of the luckiest people in the world. And with that said, we give you the luckiest people. Imagine just coming out of the dealership with a brand new sports car, and then a truck crashes right into it. I guess this guy was just lucky enough that there was someone there to stop the truck. A kitchen is a place where accidents are bound to happen. It is not really easy to work here. But it would be a real tragedy if a whole pizza was dropped. If only more people like this one came to the rescue of a falling pizza and walked away as if nothing had happened. Your equipment breaking out on you could possibly be the worst thing ever. And if it does so when you are in the wrong position, there is no telling what could go wrong. I guess this guy was just lucky enough to walk away with the bar in his hand. Technology is simply out to get us, even the simplest of them all. And this is the case for this guy. The garage door decided that it wouldn't come down. And when this guy tried to force it, it decided to try and break him for using force. Luckily, he got out of the way in time. Things can easily go wrong when you are skiing. But walking away from a possible injury is not something that you see every day. Even after hitting the snow, this guy still manages to roll over and walk away, keeping moving without the board. There are clearly two ways to play Jenga. You can either choose to go carefully or choose to follow what this guy is doing. Just decide to smack a block away. It is pretty impressive, but it should not have worked. Some people are serious about their jobs, and then this guy decided to have fun with the water. But clearly, he is in the wrong profession. Trying to pull off a stunt is tricky. It might or might not work. But for this guy, his stunt failed and instead did something even crazier, making him look cooler than his original plan. If you have watched The Matrix, then you have probably seen how they dodge bullets. And if you thought that could not happen in real life, then think again. This guy dodged the ball like it was nothing. Who knew that bowling balls could split in half? But for this guy, this was actually a good thing. One of the halves managed to give him a strike. There is a very great difference between a great stunt and a horrible accident. And for this snowboarder, what seemed to be the most horrible accident ended up being the luckiest landing ever. Rappers have a tendency to throw their clothing at the crowd. But it was like this rapper's hat did not want to leave because it came back to him just like a boomerang. At least he got a chance to say goodbye one last time. When you drop something, especially your phone, it is always terrifying. But this time, I think the owner was just happy. From that height, that phone could not have survived. I guess it was just so lucky. When playing ping pong, you definitely need both your arms to be as competitive as your competitor. Well, or so I thought. Clearly, you can play with one broken arm and still win. This guy just flicked his bat and, just like a pro, smacked that ball right back from where it came from. To avoid being bitten by an animal, it is highly advisable that you stay still and calm, although, at other times, you are told to run like hell. But you never know which one works unless you really need it. Either this guy was just so lucky, or the shark was just full from eating some big snack. Scraping ice off a sidewalk seems like one of the easiest jobs you can do. Well, not in Russia. Things clearly work differently here, as you can see. The snow can just decide to fall on you at any time. There are people who are actually determined at work, and this woman is a perfect example. If it were anyone else, they would have let the box fall, stopped, picked it up, and continued. Not this woman though. She wanted to keep moving. Mother Nature has a way of warning us when something is about to happen. And if you do not pay attention, the second one won't really be a warning. These Chinese bridges are just meant to scare you and terrify people. But contrary to your thoughts, they are actually safe, or rather, they are supposed to be. Unless the thing that is supposed to keep you safe slips off. This guy was just super lucky. If you thought that there was no such thing as perfect timing, this would change your mind. Nobody could have predicted that the two would be there, but just a few more inches forward, and his head and the wheel would have been acquainted. Rapid reflexes can really come to the rescue. If it were any normal person, they would be thinking of how to clean up the mess if this happened to them. But not for this one. She caught the jar and went on with her task as if nothing had happened. Here's something to think about. How do you check if it is safe to ski down a frozen river? I also don't know, but I know this is not the right way. This guy found out when it was almost too late that he was being reckless, but he still made it through. A miracle, I guess. No matter how many times you try a trick, it is bound to go wrong at some point. But if it gets to that point, just hope it's like this guy. Not even movies have such happy endings. He even made it seem like it was all part of the trick. It seems really thrilling to be standing at the top of a snow-covered mountain. But even more fun is creating your own avalanche. Well, until you get caught in it. But if you manage to get away from it unharmed, you feel like a real gangster. This is a kid who probably has superpowers or just utter luck. I am sure that is not where he was aiming. Pulling off such a shot twice is just insane. Even the kid does not believe himself in that. Here is a guy who was so proud of his baseball skills that he decided to end his batting with a little celebration. However, he discovered a hidden potential by mistake when the bat stood on its head. There could be a glitch in the matrix. How many times have you walked through a store without really knowing what you wanted? The decision for this guy was made for him by the fish with the will to die. But what was a supermarket doing with live fish? In football, it is one thing to get the ball between one opponent's legs, but it is another to get it between four. It was impossible, but not anymore. People like Zeb Powell rarely make mistakes in front of a huge crowd at the X Games. But how you deal with your misfortune also matters. And for this guy, he managed to turn a mistake into an awesome stunt. It must have been his lucky day. It really matters to know what is going on in your surroundings. If this man were watching the game, he would have noticed the ball going straight for him. Either that or he would have noticed the crowd moving away. Just a few inches, and that would have been a headshot. If it were any other person, they would not bother to save the crates from falling. But for this guy, he tries to save them and actually succeeds in doing it in style. But that was just pure luck. This guy was struggling, and his friend decided to throw him a safety rope. Who knew that soon it would actually help save his life? Trying to show off a trick shot in public can go absolutely wrong unless you get assistance from a total stranger like this guy here. For that awesome shot, you would require some incredible skills. But not really. As much as this guy misses the goal by a mile, he accidentally hits a much more difficult and moving target, one that he would not get even if he tried for years. Between the guy who fell from his board and the girls who so happened to be walking in perfect unison, I don't know who was the lucky one. But what are the chances of walking in such unison? One thing that is probably on everyone's bucket list is some wildlife encounters. I bet you this guy did not expect to be a great white's dinner. Some accidents are just so dangerous that you would not wish them on anyone. This guy losing one of his skis in midair was terrifying. But what is amazing is how he managed to turn his misfortune into an awesome stunt. If bottle flipping was added to the Olympics and people were told to add their props, this guy would have been a gold medalist for years. How he managed to catch that frisbee and land the bottle on it was just out of this world. This is even impossible. And that's all for today, guys. What was your luckiest moment in life? Feel free to let us know in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Until next time.